Welcome to the third meeting of the year. Today is February 3rd, 2025. Alyssa, can you please do the publication?
In compliance with Chapter 231 of Public Law of 1975, notice of this meeting to be held at the Criminal Justice Building, 61 Main Street, South River, has been published in the Home News Tribune on January 5th, 2025, posted on the Municipal Building Bulletin Board, the Borough website, the front door of the Criminal Justice Building at 61 Main Street, South River.
Roll call.
Mayor Gindi?
Here.
Councilwoman Ballas?
Here.
Councilman DeSantis?
Here.
Councilman DeZemian?
Here.
Councilman Janikopoulos?
Yes. Here.
Councilman Gertenski?
Here.
Council President Seula?
Here. Please stand for a salute to the flag.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please stay standing for a moment of silence. You may be seated. We have one presentation for today. Volunteer Memorial Park, an exclusive playground and fitness court, New Jersey DEP Green Acres Program grant application. Mr. DeSantis?
So here's your agenda for the presentation. I'll just go to the next slide. I don't read the agendas at work either, so. What is Jake's Law? For all of you who don't know, Jake's Law incentivizes counties and municipalities to build inclusive playgrounds for children and adults with disabilities. The term Jake's Law refers to Jake's Place, a playground in Cherry Hill, which was created in honor of Jacob Cummings Nasto, who passed away unfortunately due to complications of heart surgery at the age of 2.5. This is a rendering of Jake's Place, the actual facility in Cherry Hill that they built, and that was the inspiration for this fund through the government. Our concept plan is for Volunteers Park, which is also known as Bell Park. It's at the bottom of Johnson Place along Bryan Street, and you can get entry from Cam through Oak, and also Herbert Street, which is a short street that comes off on the other side over there. This park already exists as you can see it, and the square in the middle would be where this playground is concepted to go. And this is an actual rendering of what the park is intended to look like. We're going to work through the particulars of the different views of how things will be. But the key here is that this is inclusive for anyone with any disability. It includes all children that can use it, so you don't have to be part of that ADA to use the facility, but it does accommodate anyone with those special needs and allows them to play just like others. And we're also looking to put in a fitness area in the more towards the hockey part of the park. And this is for adult fitness and a little bit of outdoor activity that people can utilize to improve their health and better their body and mind. So as part of this, we have to do an environmental impact assessment. The affected resources, proposed improvements on site include the construction of an inclusive playground within the developed area of an existing park. The project aims to increase recreational use and access to the playground for the surrounding community. Due to the location of the proposed improvements in a previously developed portion of the park, there are no anticipated impacts to the surrounding area or resources. Tree removal will consist of 8 trees surrounding the playground and walking path, 4 of which are dead, 2 of which will be removed for walkways, and 2 of which have exposed roots and already present a tripping hazard. Removal of these trees will help ensure the safety of the residents using the park and playground. Short-term and long-term impacts will include those associated with the temporary construction efforts that will occur as a result of the project improvements. This includes limited/restricted access to the playground and temporary increase in noise and traffic levels to the playground during construction. No long-term impacts are anticipated. Recreation site use. It is anticipated that the proposed recreational improvements will encourage further use and enjoyment of the park and increase the site use. Affected environmental features. There are no anticipated impacts to the adjacent environmental features. No regulated areas are located within the project site. There are no proposed impacts to threatened or endangered species due to the location and scale of the project. As far as permits, no NJDEP permits will be required for this project. For the Natural Heritage Database request, the proposed project will not impact any underserved portion of the project site. A natural heritage database search for this project was requested on December 31st, 2024, and we just received that last week as publicated. Sea level rise impacts. This project will not be impacted by sea level rise as there are no bodies of water within the immediate vicinity of the project site. Mitigation measures. All necessary best management measures will be taken to mitigate any potential adverse impacts to the project site and surrounding area. This is redundant, but it's part of the process that we go through. A total of 8 trees will be removed from the project site, including 4 dead trees, 2 trees which were removed for walkways, and 2 trees with exposed roots to ensure the safety of park visitors. The project site is located outside of any regulated areas. I just want to say that when you look at these types of projects, as a borough, we spend money and we get something back for that money. With grants like this that match your funds 2, 3, 4 times that money, we're getting better money spent. We're spending money on one thing and we're getting something 4 times as good. That's something that as a borough that we have to try to do more and more of. This money is out there. We're a small borough, but number one, when we spend the money, we want it to be spent correctly. Number 2, and more importantly, this park will be accessible for those that cannot just walk into another park, go up a curb, climb a ladder, go down a slide. These children and adults have some special needs and this park will accommodate that. So it's an important philosophy for us as a borough council and as a Parks and Recreation department that we can get those people something that they can access and utilize because they can't just show up like most of us can. So it's very important at the core of it that we look into these grants. We do our best. We're working with Jason, Terry, and Jessica at the Recreation Department to apply for these grants and to get as much money as we can to further utilize our budget and get the best offering for all of our residents, including every single person. From those who do or do not need this park, they will all benefit. So that is our part of what I'm explaining. If anyone has any public comment, they're welcome to speak.
Thank you, Mr. DeSantis. Minutes, just state your name and your address.
Emily Grasso, 13 Darrow Street. So part of my comments are from the Environmental Commission, and part of it is me personally. So I'm going to start with the Environmental Commission. So I'm going to start with 2 questions. And it is a worthy way to spend money. I agree with you. I want to dispute that. But the surface that the playground is going to be on, is it impervious? Is it penetratable by rain?
I wasn't involved with that, so perhaps someone else can answer that.
Can anybody answer that question?
Dora floor, it's in the all the other playgrounds that have been renovated.
So is it like a plastic?
Rubber.
It's a rubber, so it's impervious. Yeah.
Excuse me, Mayor, can I make a comment about that? Sure. It is pervious.
Yeah,
Water
okay.
goes right through it. I was involved with a project like that very recently. I'm assuming the same company, Borough, if I'm not mistaken, is the company doing it. They use, it's a rubber surface, but it's very porous, and they put a layer of bluestone underneath to let water drain. As a matter of fact, the playground that I was involved with had flooding issues for about 8 years now. We put this in, no flooding, it's gone away.
Good to know.
Because it disperses the water underneath.
Thank you. Okay, so another one of my questions, on the site report, I think, on page 1, one of the things listed is general landscape improvements. Can we, what exactly are the landscape improvements?
Do we have a plan on it, Bob?
The walking path,
Mm-hmm.
fitness court, the playground, and then there will be, like, once the construction is done, we'll bring it back to, like, planting grass, We put on our plan that we are willing to replant trees to replace those that are taken down.
Yeah.
But we have to see what everything looks like once the improvements go in first.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so a couple concerns I have. So it's not impervious, so that concern went away. So the 4 or 5 trees that have to be taken out because of the walkways. Just so you're aware, like they're very large trees, so I did a little research and, you know, I don't know the real deep science, but these are the facts I found on the internet, that a 20-inch diameter tree, which is what all these are, removes 44 pounds of carbon dioxide a year. It absorbs 200 gallons of water a year and produces 100,000 gallons, so you can measure oxygen in gallons of oxygen a year. So, you know, I feel it is a big impact, but age assured me that if we don't get the grant, that those trees will stay and the ones that have to be removed will be removed. So those are pretty much the concerns. I do have just a suggestion, like I would like the 4 trees to be replaced. If this project can be modified, if that's possible. I mean, big trees, it takes a long time for them to become that way. The other suggestion I had, you've all seen little libraries, like that might be a nice addition, like maybe on the walkway. And I actually have a picture of like a little library. It's like a prefab one that Little Tikes makes. It's like $150, and it's easy to install. Well, not for me, but somebody. So that's a suggestion. And also, I noticed when I was there, on the part where you're gonna put the handicap parking, there's like 2 totems. If you don't know what a totem is, it's like a tree that the canopy's been cut off. So you just have like 20 feet of like just arms sticking out of the ground. So there's 2 totems that it would improve the appearance if those like got. I don't know if they're on private. Are they on private property or is that tree? Okay. Okay. So, and, my own, this is, all right, that's the environmental commission comments, my own personal comment. So we have Gorkowski Park that is getting an inclusive playground, and it's being put in the spring. Is that correct?
That is correct. Time's up, but.
Oh, sorry, just real quick, so, you know, we have this, and we got a grant for that, right? So, what is the cost of that gonna be to the taxpayers?
740,000, I think was the total cost, and the grants came to 620.
So
So about 100,000 is our money. But when we go out and do the final project, it might be less than the 700-some-thousand. So
Okay,
100 is at the top level.
and is that a more intense, is that a bigger project than the one at,
Probably the same type.
same time? Okay, good to know. All right, I'm just pointing out, it is a worthy pursuit, but we already have one going in at Gorkowski Park. So, just something to think about. Thank you for your time.
Appreciate it. Anyone else on the park? First call, second call.
Motion to close public.
Second.
Motion by Council President Seola, seconded by Councilwoman Ballas.
All in favor?
Aye. I'm going to skip around with this agenda only because I am at a legal constraint with one of our applicants. I'm going to go into closed session first. Melissa?
Resolution 2025-85, whereas Section 8 of Chapter 231, Public Law 1975 permits the exclusion of the general public from a meeting of the governing body under certain circumstances, and whereas the mayor and council of the Borough of South River are of the opinion such circumstances presently exist, and therefore be it is hereby resolved by the mayor and council of the Borough of South River and the county of Middlesex, the state of New Jersey, that the public be excluded from the hereinafter specific subject matter, and that such subject matter to be so discussed is as follows: property acquisition and litigation. Be it further resolved that such record of the above discussion will be made public when confidentiality is no longer required. Borough Council of the Borough of South River may or may not take formal action at the conclusion of the executive session.
Motion by Councilwoman Ballas. Second. Second by Councilman Krasinski.
Councilman Ballas?
Yes.
Councilman Sanders?
Yes.
Councilman DeZemian?
Yes.
Councilman Giannakopoulos?
Yes.
Councilman Gertenski?
Yes.
Council President Seula?
Yes.
We're gonna go into closed, we'll be back out in 2 minutes.
Like the look in their face, like, oh God, there's still people.
Motion to open.
Motion open.
Second. Motion by Council President.
No.
Sorry. A second by Councilman Sacks.
All in favor?
Aye.
I feel scared.
Alright, we're gonna go into agenda session. First, well, we're gonna do first reading, discussion. Andrew?
Sure, if we're starting with the first readings, Joe, do you wanna take that as a
Sure.
catback?
Yeah, the first one is, I believe, the cat bank ordinance, this is an ordinance we do every year annually. That gives the borough flexibility during the budget process. The state allows 2.5% increase on what they call inside the cap, which is most of your salaries and insurance and everything like that. If you do this ordinance, you can increase it to 3.5, and if not utilized, you can bank it for 2 years forward if we need it down the road. So it's just something we do annually every year. It's requested by the state to do something like this also. The other one is first reading of an HCD ordinance. This was from last year's HCD meeting. We finally got approval to earmark those funds, so you have first reading, which was for traffic safety signs and improvements to Kowski Park.
Mr. Mayor, 2025-7 is an amendment to the redevelopment plan, that's 25 Main Street LLC one. It was actually on a couple agendas last year. We finally came to an agreement with redevelopers, so we are putting that one on for first reading. Mr. Mayor, do you want me to go through real quick the ordinances on for second reading also?
Yes, you can.
2025-1, that is the street closure of Collin Drive. You're closing off the intersection of Collin Drive and Monticello Way. 2025-2 is cannabis, that is the retail license for cannabis. 2025-3, that's the fees that are associated with the retail license for cannabis. And 2025-4, that is a revision to your zoning code that relates to cannabis. And just a note for council, that needs to be considered by the land use board, so we're gonna open it up for public comment, and then we're gonna adjourn the public comment, so the land use board still has time to consider it. And then we'll put it on for the next meeting for continued public hearing.
Alright, thank you. Alyssa, can we please go into second reading, 2025-1?
Ordinance 2025-1, an ordinance of the Borough of South River, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending the Borough Code of the Borough of South River so as to amend Chapter 193 entitled Vehicles and Traffic.
We have a
Motion.
Second.
motion by Councilwoman Ballas, seconded by Council President Seola.
All in favor?
We're gonna go into a public hearing, 5 minutes, state your name and your address for Collin Drive.
That would be me. Good evening, everyone. My name is Stella Fitzpatrick. I've been here in South River, and my husband and I for about 5 years. And I just want to quickly just name some stuff that's a concern of mine. I'd like a dog park, not far from my house. There's a park area over
This is
there.
for Collin Drive, this is.
Oh, specifically for Collin
Collin
Drive?
Drive, specifically.
Okay.
There will be a section you can speak.
Yeah, okay, so as far as Common Drive, it needs to be blocked off. Okay, there's no ands, ifs, buts about it. We've got cars going both ways, we have children playing out there, especially in the summertime, okay? It needs to be closed off. Okay, so I can't make that any plainer. You know, we have cars coming out of the driveway, my house is the last house. Okay, so coming out of that driveway, you've got cars coming up, I've got cars coming down, I've got a car making a left. And, you know, it doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure out we need to close this off. Okay, because someone really gets hurt. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Honorable Mayor and council members, my name is Nadia Nolzik, and I live at 42 Collins Drive in South River, which is next door to my neighbor Stella Fitzgerald. And Chuck Binger lives across the street from me. He's been, I know, addressing this problem for about 20 years old. We originally tried to fight this road when the development was being put in, and planning board meetings, council meetings. The developer told us he never wanted to put that road in, and because of our persistence, they made it a one-way in to the new development. I myself have seen people I know who live in the River Road area taking the shortcut to go down Terry, Collins Drive, and down to River Road. And that's the whole thing. We tried to fight it. I asked the mayor at that time, it was Mayor Toto. Mayor Toto resigned shortly after the whole deal was approved. His uncle owned that land. It was a case of, I'm out of here. And I said, why do you want to ruin our neighborhood? You want to do what people who live there would like you to do. Why not listen to us? We're the ones that are affected by it. But no, and I left it where you could not fight City Hall. The last interaction I had, where I had to call the police, where I back out of my driveway, a car is coming up, and I wouldn't let the man out. And I said, you're going up a one-way street. You shouldn't be doing this. He told me to F off. So I didn't let him out, pulled my car back in, went in the house, dialed 911, and reported that I was just told to F off for telling somebody you're going out the wrong way. And it is a hazard. I have to look one direction, look the other direction, fine. If it was two-way street, you do it anyway. But when you think, oh, it's a one-way, no one's gonna be carried out of there, you're dead wrong. You're dead wrong. I stopped and looked twice, not just once, because when they zoom out of that street, they're not doing 20 or 25, they're doing 40. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope this isn't gonna be a case of you can't fight City Hall.
Good afternoon, I'm Ron Fitzpatrick, I live at 44 Collins Drive. Been there about 5 years, and since we've been there, we have traffic coming up one-way street. We gotta, when we pull out our driveway, we gotta look both ways. When we cross the street, we gotta look both ways. When we cross with our children or our pets, we gotta look both ways. Because people will come up that street and they don't care, and they will shoot by. I've almost been hit twice. The deer that try to cross have almost been hit a couple of times. I'm starting to think that, because I've seen police officers park there, but they're not stupid. They see the car right there, they're not gonna come up the block. Okay? But I'm starting to think that it's gonna take a death of someone before that street is closed. And that would be a sad thing. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Chuck Binger. I live on 33 Terry Avenue. I'm on the corner of Cole and Terry Avenue. I'm right at the epicenter of this whole mess. I don't know if any of you know about what I know Ms. Ballas does, because she was back there when we were collecting it years ago.
Yes.
Back in '98, I moved my house in 1990. The reason I bought that house is because it was on a dead-end street, and the woods were behind it. In 1997, I get a letter that the property behind me got sold, and they're putting 140 houses behind me. My neighbors and I all tried to stop it, and we found out that the builders have the right to do anything they want, and the citizens have no right at all. We couldn't stop it, but we got the builder to leave 5 houses out, because the heaviest section of woods was behind my house and the 4 neighbors. So he left 5 houses out. Everything was said and done. A couple of weeks later, I get a letter from the town that they're gonna put the road through. So like, yeah, no, that ain't happening. So we went to all the council meetings, we went to the planning board. Mostly everyone was on our side about putting that road through, except Mr. Rackenback, who's the head of the planning board at the time. And I don't have the letter, I wish I could have found it, but we found a letter from the East Brunswick Democrat Society thanking Mr. Rackenback into putting that road through if it ever got developed, that property back ever got developed. So he's sponsoring people in another town against the wishes of his own town. So we sued the town. We were in court for over a year. It got expensive as hell, of course. And this is about $5,000 on lawyers. And what ended up happening was we were going to have to go to court again and spend another $5,000. So the builder, because there was a lawsuit against the road, he wasn't allowed to build anything. So all the property development was stopped. There wasn't one house was built. He was getting mad. He was threatening to sue us because we stopped the development. He said, I talked to the town. If you'll agree on a one-way street, I'll give you all your attorney fees back and we'll get this done. We did it grudgingly because we couldn't afford to go to court again. I used to never go $5,000 at the time. I was out of work. I hurt my back at the time. We agreed to it. He built the road very last. He did all the houses first, did the road last. The day the road was finished, they put barricades up because it had to be inspected by the state before they can officially open it. The very first day, people were stopping, moving the barricades and driving through there. And I finally had to call the Department of Public Works to come up and put something more sturdy up until it got. But the one-way thing, it never happened. There was people coming out there constantly. I sent a bunch of videos. I'm sure you guys probably saw them. So I put a camera in my house a couple of months back. And I didn't realize how bad the problem was until I saw these videos. There must be 30, 40 cars a day going out there. Mayor Zaghetti actually, when he was in, he actually helped me. He sent the police up there. They spent 40 hours up there, 5 hours a day for 10 days. I said to the officer, what happened? He goes, oh, we only got 25 cars going out there. I said, you don't find 25 cars going the wrong way up a one-way street in a 40-hour period. It's a lot. And I've been calling the police. I think all the police know me by name. I've been calling forever about this. But the speeding that goes on through there, the noise, the kids with the custom exhaust on their cars, they come down the street, and the end of Cullen Drive goes down to Steep Hill. They downshift the cars, and all I get is backfiring all night long. I called the police 2 weeks ago because there was a fight. People coming out there going the wrong way, they got in their cars and actually started a fight in the middle of the street. And I got half a dozen of those on my cameras, people fighting in the street. The whole thing's just been a disaster. Like I said, I purposely bought that house. It was on a dead-end street. I appreciate you looking into this, but it's been, as they told us, the traffic signal, or whatever, traffic expert at the time said, oh, you'll have 20 to 30 cars a day going through here. We have hundreds of cars going through there going the right way. Because Gladstone up on Old Bridge Turnpike, there's a traffic light. It backs up at night, and everyone takes a shortcut. I believe this will help Heritage Landing down there too, because I believe more than half the cars coming through the rush hour, people that live in East Brunswick on River Road are just taking a shortcut through there. But the speeding is horrendous up there. And the noise. I got school buses coming out the wrong way. I call it, wherever I see a commercial vehicle, I call the company and give them the license plate number. But this, like I said, it's been going on since 1998. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Anyone else? First call. Second call.
Motion to close public? Second.
Motion by Council President Seola, seconded by Councilman Zima.
All in favor?
Aye.
Council discussion? Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Ballas, seconded by Councilman
Councilman Ballas?
Yes.
Councilman DeSantis?
Yes.
Councilman DeZemian?
Yes.
Councilman Janikopoulos?
Yes.
Councilman Gertenski?
Yes.
Council President Seula?
Yes.
Thank you.
So we're gonna get it done. That means we're gonna get it done.
Yes.
It only took 20 years.
26.
26, thank you.
Alyssa, 2025-2.
Ordinance 2025-2, an ordinance of the Borough of South River, County Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending chapter 120 of the Borough Code of the Borough of South River entitled Cannabis.
Motion to waive the full reading. That's the next.
Motion by Council President Seola, motion second by Councilman Ballas, Councilwoman Ballas.
All in favor?
Let's open it to public hearing.
I have a question. I have a question. You don't always have some questions. Is what's on the floor now allowing people to open up a shop to sell cannabis? So we're gonna have teenagers, young adults, grown folks driving up and down 18, whatever other highway they wanna drive, high as a kite. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Not at all, actually.
I mean, so how does that work? Please.
I will explain it to you in a few minutes.
Okay.
I would like to open it to the public.
My husband said I'm not allowed to get back up.
You
got the dog park.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm Father David Gerritsen. I reside at 153 Cam Avenue. I'm coming here as a citizen, not as the rector of St. Peter and Paul on Whitehead Avenue. I'm a 27-year resident of this town. I raised my children in this town. And I come with respect and history and with my neighbor to speak violently against this. It is one of the most egregious misuses of our rights and our possibilities and our opportunities as citizens of South River. I just found out about this actually this morning, and I congratulate the mayor for having a public conversation about this Friday afternoon, but only 3 people showed up. So, there you are. So I'm going to use the handout that was used at that public forum on Friday as an outline. This outline has obviously been drafted not by any of our leadership, our political leadership, but by the industry itself. It is filled with half-truths, it is filled with misrepresentations and blatant falsehoods. So, we have 3 different issues, 3 different resolutions, so I will expand my time over those other 5. So, very quickly, using the outline, economic growth. I referred the Borough Council and my fellow citizens to the work of Dr. Nora Volkoff, who is the director of the National Institute of Drug Abuse under the NIH. She was a staunch Republican and is still in that position, was appointed by President Bush in 2003. Her professional opinion about the legalization and normalization of cannabis dispensary and the industry is the commercial interests contribute to use to drug and addiction. Lessons learned from alcohol, basically the argument for this is money. And we all need money, we all want to subsidize the different issues in our town. But you are using a weakness and an addiction issue. So you are basically keeping your taxes low on the backs of your fellow citizens. That's shameful and reprehensible. It may be legal, it may be according to statute, Jersey statute and Borough statute, but it's morally reprehensible. I also remind everyone that this whole understanding and this work is based on sand. It is still a federal offense. So it's a cash business. And I'm not a public safety nor a police nor a criminal expert, but when you have large amounts of cash, it attracts the wrong element. Many of these dispensaries and many of these institutions are used as laundry for people in organized crime. That. If you go to newjersey.gov.cannabis, you will see the weakness of the CRC. In this document, it claims that if you have legal weed, you have inspected weed. That's at best a falsehood. If you go to the state government website about this that license these issues, it's third-party people, and there's no enforcement. I don't know of any expert that has said that the way this is written presupposes and makes people believe that it's like a USDA approved weed. That's not what's here, but that's what's being brought in this. Okay, thank you. I got 10 more minutes later. It has no medical benefits. It has no if you look at this, if you look at the CRC document, all of these facilities, and you're talking about 25 manufacturing and warehousing facilities, only one dispensary, are in towns in economic peril. You don't have this in Colts Neck. You don't have this in East Brunswick. You don't have it in affluent counties, affluent communities. It's in communities like ours that are working class, that have incredibly high drug abuse issues in our college, in our schools, and in our township. What you were doing is taking the short money for a shameful, disgusting way to abuse your citizens. Thank you very much.
I'd like to say a few words for Father. I 100% agree with everything he has said. And if you went and did a survey of regular citizens like myself, working class, they all would say no. Thank you.
Salvatore Guccio, 104 Bridge Turnpike. Cannabis, I have used. I have a major back issue. I deal with chronic pain every day of my life. I have used marijuana on and off on my bad days. I am not addicted to it. What it does, it takes the pain away from me instead of taking a Percocet or something that is addictive. I was addicted to painkillers back in 2014 after I had major surgery. I got addicted to it. I had to get help. When I have bad pain, I will buy marijuana. You go to this place, it's more tired than Fort Knox. You walk in, you get your stuff, you walk out. You cannot stay there, you cannot smoke on premises. If you try to stay there, you will be arrested. Marijuana is the only thing that has gotten me through all this pain. I'd rather somebody be able to get legal marijuana to help them with different ideas, the fact that it can help you with depression, anxiety, everything. It's not addictive. Do I smoke it every day? No. Last time I smoked it was 2 years ago. So it's not addictive. It's not like a cigarette. It's not like alcohol. There's been less people killed in car accidents by marijuana than there has been by drug driving. So anybody that wants to say it's addictive and it causes things, it's not true. That's hearsay. It's basically a myth that's been going around for years. It would bring money to this town that we desperately need to help the projects. That's all I have to say.
May I?
State your name and address.
My name is Stella Fitzpatrick, I live at 44 Collins Drive, South Dakota. And I am a substance abuse counselor. And I'm here to tell you that, and you probably already know, addiction, okay, a lot of times it starts with a cigarette. Then it starts with the marijuana. Then it can go up. Now we're talking about marijuana, but we're also talking about fentanyl, which is mixed in with the marijuana. How many kids do we have to lose here? Because you can come out of dispensary, my grandson in Vegas works at a dispensary. Actually, he needs to be here. But long story short, you can get addicted to anything. Marijuana is no exception, okay? Yeah, it may make you feel good in your head because it's all up here. It's all up here, okay? So let's not get it mixed up, okay? Children, if you have so many teenagers now that are smoking marijuana and mixing it with fentanyl. Some of them, God gives them grace to make it. Okay, and some of them don't. So, yeah, open up a shop, everybody wants to grow it, everybody wants to make that money. But sometimes you just have to say, no. Sometimes you have to look at the longer picture down there. Sometimes you have to go home and look at your children. Because even if they're little, they're gonna get big. And peer pressure is a hell of a thing. So just keep that in mind as you vote on this. There's so many other businesses that could be opened that will bring South River some money. Okay? The marijuana shop, cannabis for the politically correct word, please. Okay? Marijuana, all right? If you got a choice, and we have a choice in everything we do. So if you have a choice, let that choice be a no. Okay? Let that choice be a no. Thank you.
Sherry Johnson, 153 Camp Avenue. Didn't have a chance to look at the handout Friday night, but once I did look at it, I just want to address some things in here that I think are misleading. It's promising if we open this dispensary, there'd be an influx of jobs. I don't see that. There's probably going to be 2 security guards and 2 people working in retail. That's to me not an influx, okay? As somebody said to me, when have you ever seen more than 2 people running one of these things, okay? Support for local businesses. If the town is not attractive, why would people linger after they buy their cannabis products? They're going, and a place where you're checked by a security guard on the way in, then you have to exit out the back door, which is what was described to me. Is that the ambiance? Is that enhancing the ambiance of South River? Is that something that's going to make people want to come here and visit? There was talk about the safety. Well, it's more safe. Mostly, I was told at the meeting, it's mostly people between 55 and 75, maybe getting for pain or whatever. They can afford it. The younger ones, and as far as reducing crime, the younger ones, I was told, cannot afford it, so they're gonna still be buying it off the black market. As far as reduction in crime, as my husband brought up, there's all this cash in the store. From my understanding, the banks won't take the cash, so the cash is sitting there. credit card companies are not allowed to be used for that kind of thing. Supposedly community engagement, they're gonna do educational workshops about what? About the safety of cannabis. Attracting visitors. Why aren't we working on, as far as a unique attraction for tourists, drawing visitors? We're exploring the legal cannabis market. Why are we working on legitimate, healthy attractions like were outlined in this report that I dug out of my file? There's some wonderful ideas in here, and not all of them are expensive. Plus, there are grants available to implement things like that. Let's make it into a town people would want to come to, apart from the cannabis. All right. The thing that was really, it said, can help reduce the stigma associated with cannabis use and promote a more progressive attitude toward the plant. Is that what we want for our young parents and their children? Paving the way for a brighter future for all, I just really think that's hyperbole. Check the National Institutes of Health website about the lack of good science on the safety of cannabis use, and then tell me how normalizing it, that was another term, the normalization and acceptance of cannabis use within the community, that's chilling. Is that what we want to do? Do we want to normalize it for our children? Is that how we want our children to grow up? How does that create a brighter future for all? Go on Harvard Health, find out what they say about cannabis. It's not healthy. Thank you very much.
Anyone else?
Emily Grasso, 13 Dallas Street. Yeah, we've been here 36 years, and I agree with what Sherry says about the chilling fact of normalization of marijuana consumption. The message that we're sending about our town, like our town kind of has an image problem in a lot of people's minds, and I just don't think this would make our image better. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Father Damian Green, and I happen to be the pastor of Corpus Christi Church. I've been in this town for 12 years, so I'd like to add my voice and support to our concerned citizens about this very important topic. I did have a chance to look at the handout. I'm not sure if the handout that was presented on Friday had any footnotes or references. I'm not really sure because I just had a chance to look at it. But I'm concerned, just as a concerned citizen, what could be possibly the negative unintended consequences of embracing something like this for our community and of course for our people who live here and for our town, our reputation. The handout of course speaks very positively, but I think obviously there is a place for playing the devil's advocate, so to speak, just in terms of balancing out the idea and trying to weigh the pros and cons of it. And I hope that you will deliberate that obviously for the best interests of our town and for our future. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Good evening, Joe Donato, 30 Daly Street here in South River. Good evening, everyone. I personally don't have an opinion about it one way or the other, but I can say this without hesitation. It was on the ballot. The people of this town said no. So arguing all these valid points is useless if you do what the people have asked you to. If you wanted to sell it, people would have said yes. If you wanted to sell the idea of having cannabis in South River. But the fact is, they voted no. So people here are reflecting that vote. And so I would encourage the council to take that very, very much in mind. There's things that you may want to do. There may be things that this town needs. But sometimes you just have to say no and find another way. So I hope you take that into consideration before you vote for this tonight. Thank you very much for your time.
Hello, hi, my name is Edwin Curtis. I live at 64 Whitehead Avenue. I'm actually right next to the church. We're still going to continue to be nice neighbors. We have a slight difference in opinions, but I did hear a couple things. What I heard tonight was not in our community. But do you know that they can deliver here and people are buying it and bringing it back home? So it is in your community. You're just not benefiting, or the town's not benefiting from the taxes. Another thing I heard was banks don't allow it. That's false. Credit unions and local banks are allowing it. You are correct. Federally backed banks do not allow it. They are also trying to get into business because they are trying to snap up all the small companies that have become multi-billion-dollar companies. They're trying to buy those companies because they've kind of cornered the market. What I also heard was we don't want it in our community, but yet 67% of people in New Jersey voted for it. Also, it depends on the demographics, right? If you look at who buys it, yes, there are older people that buy it, but the most important thing, which I did not hear today, is just because people are still continuing to buy it, but you're not offering a safe way to get it. So because you may not like it, it's still going to exist. Now, would you rather have someone in your family get something that is tested and regulated by New Jersey State, or something that could be laced with fentanyl, which I heard a drug counselor say, which was also interesting. Marijuana is not a gateway drug. So you, like that was said, you can get addicted to anything. You can get addicted to food. So if we kind of go with that theory, we would outlaw McDonald's, we would outlaw supermarkets, right? Because you can use all these things. So again, I would say, from my perspective, if it's done in a controlled manner, it would be a good thing for the town. Thank you.
Anyone else? First call, second call.
Motion to close?
Motion by Council President Seola, second by Councilwoman Ballas.
All in favor?
Aye.
Council discussion?
I would like to speak on this. I understand both sides here as people come up and they're passionate about how they feel. I also understand some of the hesitation about it being in our borough or our town. I do know that while we were sitting here, I just typed the word dispensary in my phone on maps, and there's several within 10 miles, probably 20 or 30 of them. I think we have to understand that this is something that's here to stay. I'm myself, Councilman Nazemian, Councilman Seola are on the budget committee. We work closely with Joe Zanga. Every year, the borough is faced with more challenges and more obstacles, and for lack of a better word, more problems financially. We have to become creative on solutions. New problems need new solutions. To give you some context to numbers, I'll use $100,000 of revenue as a basis point. The average tax bill for property tax in our town is $7,500. From a municipal portion of that, we get 29.5%, which is $2,200 for round numbers. That means you'd have to build 45 homes at that evaluation in town to generate $100,000 of revenue to our budget. If you were to build a Heritage Hills type style house, one of those homes, you'd need 26 of those to make the same budget with what their property taxes are. There's no place in this town to expand in that direction. I can tell you personally, I don't partake in this. I have friends who do. Most of them are responsible. They have families. They pay their bills. I don't want to say it's not my business what they do in their spare time, but these are good people. The misnomer that anyone who does this is just not true. Do people get off the wrong path? They absolutely do. But I do think that as a borough, we need to address the fact that this is something that can generate a big amount of revenue that can impact our budget. And it's not just about money. That was brought up by one of the community members about being about money. That is part of it. This is in your town one way or another. These are not little shops where people can go in. You have to be 21 to enter. You can't even go in the door. It isn't like a Wawa or a convenience store. You have to be 21 to enter. When you go in, it's regulated how much you can buy for obviously, for reasons of distribution. So this is here to stay. If we do not get in at some point and put this into our town as an opportunity to generate this revenue, eventually, town like Englishtown has 4 dispensaries. Englishtown is literally 2 traffic lights. You go right or left in Englishtown, you're in Manalapan or Monroe before you even blink. This is in these small towns. It's not just in cities. It's not just in urban areas. So I can tell you I voted against this in 2023 when it was on the referendum. But in the last, we'll call it 14, 15 months, being on council and understanding some of the challenges, I have a different view of this. A lot, again, of my friends and people that I know and how they utilize the product. So I'm not gonna try to change anyone's opinion here because I know there are some strong feelings, but I will say that this is something that is here. So we have 2 choices tonight. We can say yes or no, but as a borough, this is important for us to move forward, and I just think that we need to all understand that. Thank you.
Anyone else?
No, I don't. I respectfully, honor what everybody has to say, but when it was mentioned that this is not medicinal, personally, I know people that suffer horribly from cancer. This got them through a lot longer than they should have. I know neighbors that, again, horribly suffered from Parkinson's. Got him so much farther along than he was supposed to, that his family, my family, got to spend more time with him. So I don't want to hear that it's not medicinal. It does help. It helps with anxiety. It helps with stress. I personally do not partake in that. But have any of you ever been to one of these dispensaries that you can say that people are gonna hang around? This is more secure than most jewelry diamond districts. And just because if we approve this, doesn't stop here. The state has to come in and approve it also. We just tell them if we wanna go along. The stringency of the rules of these are, I never knew, amazing, totally amazing. But again, it's something I think the town, it's not gonna be advertised with bells and whistles, and it's not the drug of the 70s when I was in high school that you went down the hill by the high school, not me, but it's safer, it's more contained, and I just personally, I know, we're never gonna agree on it, but I just wanted to say my point. That's it.
Anything else? Listen.
Councilman Gertenski?
Want my vote?
We make a motion to approve or adopt ordinance number 2025-2.
Second.
Motion by Council President Seola, seconded by Councilwoman Ballas.
Councilman Gertenski?
Abstain.
Councilwoman Ballas?
Yes.
Council President Seola?
Yes.
Councilman DeZemian?
Yes.
Councilman DeSantis?
Yes.
Councilman Janikopoulos?
No.
Listen, 2025-3.
Ordinance 2025-3 is ordinance of the Borough of South River, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending the Borough Code of the Borough of South River so as to amend Chapter 155 entitled Fees.
Motion to waive full reading.
Motion by Council President Seola, seconded by Councilwoman Ballas.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing.
The motion, this is for
Fees.
This is ordinance 2503 or
Yes. Say your name and address.
Sure, it's Evan Paredes, 64 Whitehead Avenue. I just have a question. I wanted to know a little bit more about this suitability application fee. What is that for exactly, and when will the application be found, and what's the timing for this application?
So, do you want individually, so the suitability application fee is you have to come and there is an application already formed, it's in Borough Hall, you come, you fill it out, and then the way the process works is we have to review whatever location that you are proposing to put it. If it falls within the locations in which the license is permitted, and this is for any of the licenses, not just the retail license. If it falls within that, then you, pursuant to the application, you ask the Borough Council for a resolution of local support, and that's what gets forwarded to the state, so you can get a license at the state.
Okay.
But there is a, if you're interested, there is a application and there is a full instructions that come with it, like a handout that the borough has, that can give to you so you can follow down the steps you have to take.
And when I heard just confirm you have to pick it up in person.
I don't know if you have to pick it up in person. We could probably email it. I don't see why, but I do know it's at the borough, so
Okay.
Alyssa has it. So I'm sure she could email it to you if that's something that you want to.
Okay. That was it, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Anyone else?
So specifically to -03, I want to correct some ad hominem arguments that were given towards me. The fact that marijuana is addictive is not an opinion nor a feeling. It is a finding of the National Institution of Health. And as a parish priest and a certified addiction counselor, I can say that I know many people and have walked many people through 12-step programs that are addicted to cannabis, first. Second, I've also dealt with many parishioners that have cancer, including my father of blessed memory and my mother, where medical marijuana was used. That's not what we're talking about. And again, since we are talking specifically on -03, I will simply restate, it is scandalous and shameful to fund our township through addictions and issues that will bring shame and pain to our families. Thank you. Can I reclaim 1 minute, please? I want to be very clear that my brother and my neighbor, Edwin, is an honorable man and a person of integrity. This is not about personality, but it's still shameful. You're so dead.
Anyone else? First call. Second call.
Motion to close?
Motion by Council President Seola, seconded by Councilman DeSantis.
All in favor?
Aye.
Council discussion? Do I have a motion?
Motion to close? Motion to adopt.
Oh, adoption. Motion by Councilman DeSantis,
Second.
seconded by Council President Seola.
Councilman Ballas?
Yes.
Councilman DeSantis?
Yes.
Councilman DeZemian?
Yes.
Councilman Janikopoulos?
Yes.
Councilman Gertenski?
Abstain.
Council President Seola?
Yes.
Alyssa, 2025-4, council, you are not to vote on this. This will be moved to the land use after public hearing.
Ordinance 2025-4, an ordinance of the Borough of South River, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending chapter 350 of the Borough Code of the Borough of South River entitled zoning.
Make a motion to waive the full reading.
Motion by Council President Seola, seconded by Councilwoman Ballas.
All in favor?
Aye.
Like to open it up to the public? As it is zoning.
This is for 25 zone 4, right? Yeah, so my name is Evan Furley, 64 Brighton Avenue. I have a question on current section C, licensure. I just wanted to confirm when you say licensure, I'm assuming you're saying conditional license. Because there's nothing that's been, there's no letter of support given out by South River right now for an annualized license. I read further down that it meant all licenses, just wanted to.
I believe that's currently in our current regulations. That wasn't changed from so technically you have 350-8 subsection T licensed cannabis facilities, and I think that was just carried forward. That wasn't a change, but and what is, I'm sorry, what is your question?
Per the NJCRC, there's only two classes of license, there's a conditional and an annual. So I wanted to confirm that language was around the conditional, and there hasn't been an end of support letter issued for an annual license.
Give me 1 second. Should not be considered a license facility. Yes. If I'm understanding your question correctly, yes.
Okay.
If you wanna talk more offline about this too, we can do that too.
Okay. And then my other question was section D, application prerequisite for developer application. I just wanted to confirm that is, could you use the word developer in there? That's only if there is clear plan and they're designing to build something from the ground up?
No. No, I don't believe that that's what that is intended. They submitted proposals. I believe it means development of the facility.
Yeah, because the only question I had was, I think it said something about zoning, and like if you have a building that's already built, you really can't change it because it's, it's already built. So inside, yes, plan,
Inside, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so these are definitely issues that we can, if you want, we can go through more off, but yes, I believe that developer doesn't mean you're just building a building from scratch, that's not what that intent is.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, Father David Garrettson, 153 Cam, want to address another ad hominem. I've been in many cannabis dispensaries throughout the country. You remember, I used to be the roadman for the labor for Guns N' Roses, for Beyonce. Been around this stuff. And the fact that here in -04, you're addressing and isolating these facilities that you just approved into tertiary areas of our borough is an admission of the issue that we've all been talking about. That these are not desirable companies. These are not desirable. If you would think of them as desirable, you would let them build anywhere. But at your own statute, your own ordinance acknowledges the safety and the image problems that you just brought on the borough. You've admitted your own culpability in bringing dishonor on the borough of South River. Thank you.
I'd like to just address all of you. It's kind of hard for me to understand exactly what happened here, but was this cannabis / marijuana thing approved?
Yes.
Did every one of you approve it? Or was there one that said no? Just,
One no and one abstention.
who were the no's?
I believe at the end of
A no and an abstention.
One no, and did you vote yes, Mayor?
He doesn't need to vote.
He doesn't get a vote.
So we have only one no, and the rest of you all voted
I abstained. He abstained.
when I'm asked how the vote went. Another thing, how much money are we talking about here? Is this gonna slash my real estate tax? $500 a year? How much money is South River gonna make? Are you gonna make 50,000 a year? 100,000? How much are you making? I didn't hear anything about how much money is involved.
It's an algorithm based on the retail sales, so the borough gets a percentage of the sales. So impossible to exactly quantify, but there's
Well-
estimates are well north of $100,000 or $200,000 annually.
Annually. And what is the percentage for South River?
That is the percentage for South River.
So they would have to make what, $1 million for you to get the 100,000?
Basically, if it's at 2%, every million they sell would be $20,000 into the pocket of the county.
Was there any kind of a study done as to, you mentioned Englishtown? What with the 2 marijuana joints that they have, how much money are they making? You've done a study, obviously.
$2.5 million.
Pardon me?
$2.5 million.
That they get in 1 year.
That's what they get.
How much of that goes to the rip-off artist in Trenton?
I don't know what the big artist.
There's gotta be a cup for them in Trenton.
The 2.5 million is the that's what the town got from their sales. I'm sure there's other percentages, but that's what the town would get in that instance.
Scot-free, no strings attached, no train pulling in there.
That goes to the town.
That's what the town is gonna get.
That's what they.
And where is this establishment gonna be located?
We don't know yet.
Right next to the police station?
No.
That would be a good spot.
Oh,
How about next to one of the churches?
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Can't do it there either. Wow. So where is this gonna go?
On Collins Drive.
They would have a mysterious fire.
We are determined on this.
Lightning would strike.
Yes.
I think you made a mistake. That's, I mean, by the time it's all over, you're not gonna be gaining anything except for the drug addicts coming in to buy the stuff.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
My place right between your house and mine.
This is.
Right between our houses, that's good.
Okay. Now, if I wanted to come in on the other side of this, as far as the cannabis shops, and open up
From the Belarusian church.
Oh, yeah.
is there certain areas of South River that are zoned,
Not for recovery.
not for recovery? Okay, beautiful.
Sherry Garrison, 153 Cam Avenue. I just wanted to point out that Englishtown has 5 dispensaries.
That's correct.
Oh,
Yeah, that's not coming from one dispensary, that's from 5,
That's
so.
what we were talking about, right?
Okay, alright. And they're all within a 2-block area, I can imagine. But that's why. And they were, he was very pleased that it had attracted the business of a cigar lounge and a tattoo parlor. So, you get what you get.
Yes, it's me again, Salvatore Gucci, 104 Over Turnpike. Has anybody here actually visited one of these places
I have. My grandson works in a dispensary
in Las Vegas?
in Las Vegas.
Different story, I knew exactly what happened there.
Yeah, nothing happened,
No, they were tainted stuff there at one point.
not to my knowledge.
Okay. Here's the whole thing. I'm gonna make it real simple. It's not just marijuana. It's oil that's used for paint, which is what I use. I have
why can't you get it from a doctor? My neighbor told me
That's why I got it.
he's got MS, he gets it from his doctor.
Let's address the chair.
May I address? I had my medical license. I had to get it because of how bad my pain was. It's not what you think of in the movie, smoking a joint. It's not even that. It's oils that help your back. You can smoke it. There's edibles you can take. It will basically, people say it doesn't work for pain. It does work for pain. Because I wouldn't want anybody in here tonight to walk a day in my life, how bad my back is. And I'm possibly going for another surgery because how bad my back is. So it's the only thing that helps me. And I'm not addicted. Just, that's my piece of it. Thank you.
Anyone else? First call, second call.
Close public.
Motion by Council President Seola, seconded by Councilman Sines.
All in favor?
Council discussion? Alright, we'll be moving to the next meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. Can I get a motion
Motion
to
to carry
to
it
the
to
next
the
meeting?
February 24th meeting for public hearing.
Motion by Council President Seola, seconded by Councilwoman Ballas.
Councilman Ballas?
Yes.
Councilman DeSantis?
Yes.
Councilman DeZemian?
Yes.
Councilman Janikopoulos?
Yes.
Councilman Gertenski?
Yes.
Council President Seula?
Yes.
Let's move into first reading, 2025-5.
Ordinance 2025-5, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank for calendar year 2025.
Mayor, I move that the council pass ordinance 2025-5 on its first reading by title only, and the clerk be authorized to publish the same as required by law with the second reading and public hearing to be held at 7 p.m. on February 24th, 2025 by video conference via Zoom or in the council chambers for the Criminal Justice Building, 61 Main Street, South River, New Jersey.
Second. Motion by Council President Seola, seconded by Councilman Krasinski.
Councilman Ballas?
Yes.
Councilman DeSantis?
Yes.
Councilman DeZemian?
Yes.
Councilman Janikopoulos?
Yes.
Councilman Gertenski?
Yes.
Council President Seula?
Yes.
Alyssa, 2025-6.
Ordinance 2025-6, an ordinance authorizing various federal housing and community development grant improvements and equipment located in the Borough of South River in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey.
Mayor, I move that the council pass ordinance 2025-6 on its first reading by title only, and the clerk be authorized to publish the same as required by law for the second reading and public hearing to be held at 7 p.m. on February the 24th, 2025 by video conference via Zoom or in the council chambers of the Criminal Justice Building, 61 Main Street, South River, New Jersey.
Second. Motion by Council President Seola, seconded by Councilman Krasinski.
Councilman Ballas?
Yes.
Councilman DeSantis?
Yes.
Councilman DeZemian?
Yes.
Councilman Janikopoulos?
Yes.
Councilman Gertenski?
Yes.
Council President Seula?
Yes.
Alyssa, 2025-7.
Ordinance 2025-7, an ordinance of the Borough of South River, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, adopting the amendments to sub-area 152 of the Lower Main Street redevelopment plan.
Mayor, I move that the council pass ordinance 2025-7 on its first reading by title only, and the clerk be authorized to publish the same as required by law for the second reading and public hearing to be held at 7 p.m. on February the 24th, 2025 by video conference via Zoom or in the council chambers of the Criminal Justice Building, 61 Main Street, South River, New Jersey. Second.
Motion by Council President Seola, seconded by Councilman DeSantis.
Councilman Ballas?
Yes.
Councilman DeSantis?
Yes.
Councilman DeZemian?
Yes.
Councilman Janikopoulos?
Yes.
Councilman Gertenski?
Yes.
Council President Seula?
Yes.
We are now going to go into reports. Bruce.
Thank you, everybody. Good evening. The 2023 and 2024 road programs are on hold because of the weather. Once things warm up, they will continue. At the present time, Leonard Avenue has been open paved. The 2023 Local Transportation Projects Grant, that is under design. The 2025 Local Aid Program, we submitted a proposal for that. The substation testing and maintenance is completed. We processed the second progress payment for them, and once they get us all the reports and we review them to see if everything's in order, then that can be closed out. And the DEP Stormwater Assistance Grant, we issued a letter. We had previously issued a very comprehensive letter. We've issued another one outlining what's due this year and the estimated cost to provide those services.
Thank you, Bruce. Anything for Bruce? Council?
No.
Thank you.
Joe?
A couple of resolutions on the agenda. We have a resolution to purchase a police vehicle under a co-op, resolution rejecting the bids for utility billing and collection services due to a discrepancy in the bid. And the final one is a resolution to purchase and install a turf field, the infield part of Krakowski Field, is also done under a co-op.
Thank you. Anything for Joe? Council? Age?
Yes, and the borough calendars have come in. They can be picked up at 48 Washington Street, 55 Reed, the library, and the DPW office. And also Monday, February 17th will be closed, no yard waste can be picked up. So,
Thank you, Age. Council, anything for Age? Police Chief?
I don't have anything, man.
Fire Chief?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Fire Department has responded to 40 alarms for January. I must go on record and personally thank all of our mutual aid partners in the county that assisted with our multiple structure fires for the last month. The department recertified firefighters and members of our ladies auxiliary in CPR and first aid, as administered by the Middlesex County Fire Academy. We will schedule another CPR first aid recertification class for this quarter for members who could not be present. The department also held our annual hazmat, bloodborne pathogen, right to know, and SCBA education proficiency drill. Engine 2 was placed out of service today. It's currently at Campbell Supply. Monthly fire prevention tip: never run portable generators inside your home or your garage. And please consider adopting a fire hydrant when it snows. Requesting that if a fire hydrant is on your property, please consider cleaning all snow around the fire hydrant so it can make quick and easy access for our department. And once again, we are a 100% volunteer organization. So if any member of our community would like to come out and volunteer, consider joining our association, please feel free to.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Yes.
Council, anything for Fire Chief? Alyssa?
Nothing tonight.
And you?
I have nothing tonight, Mayor.
Art?
Mayor, just a couple of things. I can tell everyone that our water main project now has a number at the I-Bank, and we are moving forward, and that the engineering firm is doing their environmental inspections so that they can forward that to the DEP. And just a couple resolution, number 73, that's authorizing a shared service agreement with East Brunswick for various services. At time, we both work reciprocal with our water, sewer, and road departments, and this gives us the agreement to do that. And 74 is our 2025 public health services. We have an agreement with the county to provide a health officer for the borough. That's all I have.
Anything for Art? Council? Councilman Krasinski?
Thank you, Mayor. First off, I'd like to comment on the Office on Aging. They will be closed on the 17th for, they'll be closed on the 17th. Most of the borough offices are closed. February is also National Heart Month, and wearing red is significant to say that you're trying to take care of yourself. There is a publication that the Office on Aging has online that gives you specifics from the American Heart Association. Personally, I know last week. And there's a few other things. Remember database, they have to upgrade it. So if you have been a member of the Office of Aging prior to January 2025, please stop by and update your information so they can keep the register open. Our DPW mentioned that our calendars are available, and the tax preparation program. They do not offer it in town here. You have to call for an appointment with AARP. They're available at the East Brunswick Public Library. Their phone number is 732-390-6767. The North Brunswick Senior Center, their phone number is 732-418-2222. And the Old Bridge Public Library, and their phone number is 732-705-1186. Or you can email them also. And there is a Spotswood office, which area code 732-215-3432. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Ballas?
Yeah, the tax service, ARP. The one in East Brunswick only does it on Mondays and Wednesdays. I made my appointment. And they only go, I think the last week in March, maybe the first Monday in April, but that's the only 2 days they do it. They're very good, I've been going there for years after supper. after we had COVID and we couldn't do it anymore. But only Monday and Wednesdays, the other libraries, I don't know. The Board of Health will be sponsoring their rabies clinic on Saturday, March 29th, down at the DPW. And I'll give you the time when it gets closer, they have to see when the vet will be there. And in addition to that, any late fees for your pets for licenses are waived until April 1st, so you don't have to rush out if you haven't got your pets with the rabies. And just to continue to look at the library site for their upcoming events, I know I post on Facebook myself, little kids, middle-aged, teenagers, adults, yoga, they have so much stuff to do there. Look into it, just go to the South River Library website. And just to say, whoever posted on tonight's Facebook, we are not building any new apartments on Willard Avenue by the substation. I guess you're doing work there?
Yeah.
So somebody wants to know if we're building more apartments, and no, so please just stop. This is how you start trouble, this is how you start rumors. So there's no apartments going on Willard Avenue. That's it.
Thank you. Councilman, please, Zima.
Our electric company is currently trimming tree branches away from power lines to keep ahead of them interfering with transmission of power and helping prevent power outages. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Sims.
Recreation Advisory Board update, registration for sports in the spring season is now open. T-ball is fundamental instructional program, mixed for boys and girls ages 4 through 6, and will start in mid-April. Softball for girls ages 6 through 13, with teams competing 8U, 10U, and 13U. Baseball for boys ages 7 through 10, with teams competing at 8U and 10U levels. Flag football is mixed for boys and girls ages 5 through 18. The age group will be determined once enrollment numbers are finalized. Softball, baseball, and flag football will all begin in mid-March. Zumba classes begin tomorrow night, Tuesday, February 4th. Classes are Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 7 p.m. and you can still register even though it starts tomorrow. To register for all, you go to www.southrivernj.org, click Departments, then Parks and Recreation, and you will see a link to enroll. And if any issues online, you can call the office at 732-254-4412. Speaking with Parks and Recreation Director Terry Chandler, we are still looking for a tennis instructor for the spring season. If anyone is interested, they can email Terry at tchandler@southrivernj.org or call the same office. The next Recreation Advisory Board meeting will be this coming Monday, February 10th at 7 p.m. at 55 Reed Street, and residents are welcome and encouraged to attend. And the rec office will be closed this Friday, February 7th. They will be at a cheer event, the Reach the Beach Nationals in Ocean City, Maryland. It has the Northeast Regional team, so they will be down there with the girls. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Christian.
President Copley.
Thank you, Mayor. The only thing I have is the Environmental Commission is planning a Arbor Day event. That's gonna be April 26th. We're still working on the details to have the community come out and all get together and try to beautify our town and keep it clean, and that's all I have.
Thank you. I'll hold my comments. I'd like to open it to the public, 5 minutes. State your name and address.
Sherry Garrison, 152 Penn Avenue. I just wanted to check on something. Am I wrong, or wasn't there a referendum about synthetic turf? Or maybe that was just for the stadium, wasn't that voted down?
Board of Education.
That's Board of Ed, so that's not.
Okay. So I just wanna say a couple things about synthetic turf, all right?
I mean, give me a break.
It has negative impacts on the environment because of microplastic pollution. It creates heat islands, it's hotter for the people playing. There's chemicals released, and as far as health, there's exposure to chemicals, endocrine disruption, and cancer risk. All right, I think it's very telling that the NFL Players Association is calling on the NFL to ban artificial turf in favor of natural grass because it's unsafe for players. It can also lead to more ankle injuries, all right? It's not necessarily cheaper. You look up online, I've seen things between $7,500 and $39,000 for a field of upkeep for years, okay? You have to clean it,
You have to use weed killer because sometimes weeds come up through the turf. And there's pet cleaning, there's, animals wander onto it and do their business, you have to clean that up too. It might last 8 years, the companies say, 15 to 20 years, but the critics say 8 years is not unusual. Just depends who you talk to. A study by the National Institutes of Health said artificial turf contains semi-volatile organic compounds and heavy metals that pose a potential risk to the ecosystem and human health. And again, the higher temperature. Residents fighting against it in New Jersey are in Scotch Plains, Maplewood, Princeton, Westfield, and Ridgewood. So I would not like to see this kind of swept in and just voted, pro forma. I think we really need to think about this. It's a big investment. It's going to be a big investment of maintenance, and it's not good for the kids. Okay, thank you.
One more item, please. I'm sure you will want to hear from me. I would like to ask you, why do you have fireworks in August when it's for July 4th?
One, it's cheaper. Two, you're not competing with everybody that's actually having it on 4th of July, which I agree with you. You should try to
July
keep it.
4th?
I agree with you.
I'm from the old school. July 4th, Independence Day.
I agree.
Do I have to go to East Brunswick to see July 4th fireworks? And the good news is, with our marijuana money flow, you'll have the money to do July 4th. Please!
I will consider doing it.
All this rain of money is gonna come down on us. Have July 4th on July 4th. Thank you.
Can I answer that? This is why it started at the end of the summer. When I was on the rec commission, we purchased, fireworks aren't cheap, they're what, I don't know how much they are now. We got rain, the rain day got rain, the next week got rain, so the fireworks company wouldn't do it. So we figured we had to pay the money anyway, so we made it for an end of summer. It actually drew more people because other towns are coming to our town for that. The vendors did much better. And I don't know if they still do it. They used to test new stuff for us that we never had to pay for. So if they thought it was something good, the next year they could go charge another town. But they would test out some of the fireworks for us. That was included in the one price. That's how it started. We just couldn't get rid of the rain in July that year.
When it was on July 4th and I would go to Denny Field, I could barely find a seat.
Well, now there's less seats, so.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to know why it started that way.
I
That's why it
remember
started.
when it was, why wasn't fireworks on July 4th?
That's
There
why.
was never on July 4th. It's like the second,
For what reason?
it's always 2 days before.
Okay, Stella Fitzpatrick, 44 Collins Drive, I'm gonna make it short and sweet. And if you hear a foreign noise, it's because my stomach is growling because I haven't eaten yet. Okay, so please, just ignore that. And we can talk about anything?
Yes.
Anything's on the floor?
Yes.
Okay, for me, the first thing is having a dog park put in. Right off of Leonardine. There's a huge park space over there. They have a couple of things for the kids, but for the most part, there's nothing over there for us. So there's enough space to put a little doggy area. And we have quite a few people that walk their dogs. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, I'm from New York originally, if you can tell. Yes. Why is it so dark out here? It is dark. Now, for those that have been here all your life and 20, 30 years, it may not appear that way to you because your eyes have adjusted, yada, yada, yada. But it is dark out here. I was looking to take a job from 3 to 11 p.m. I did a dry run today in Kirk Amboy, and daytime is fine. Nighttime? I'm gonna be in trouble. I'm gonna be in trouble because it is just absolutely dark out here in Jersey.
I don't think they do much
I mean, can you put some, you know,
Oh,
put
some
some,
have
throw some lights.
We have, they put in new halogens on some streets, they're very bright, very bright.
But the ones that I'm looking at, they're not, that's bright. They're not bright, they're like a soft living room color. And the only thing that's bright on the road,
The bridge lights, you talking about?
Old Bridge Road.
Oh, over Turnpike,
Oh,
that's county.
Turnpike, that's county, it has nothing to do with us.
That's not you guys?
No,
It's okay, you could be.
but you can tell us anyway.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay, yeah, cause the lighting is like a soft living room lighting, and the only bright lights are the ones coming off the car. And those are blind, they can be blinding.
Yeah.
You know, they can be blinding. Okay. Small business loans, are there funds for that?
The EDC, they meet once a month. They're gonna be having another business get-together early spring. And they had something for the holiday in December, where all the businesses came. There was a lady from the state there with small, low-interest business loans and grants
Oh, man.
from it that our grant writer, Dawn, found at the League of Municipalities, and she came up and she explained different things to the small businesses, and they were very happy. So there's gonna be another one coming up. It'll be advertised on the website, and it's up where, I'm not sure where they're gonna have it this time.
That's South River,
South River Economic Development Committee.
and the website is
South River, yeah, South River, New Jersey.
And South River NJ.org.
Okay, okay. And last but not least, and this may not be, I was told by my neighbor that this is not your area either. Stoplight on Arthur Avenue,
Arthur Street.
Arthur Street.
Arthur Street North.
County road.
That's county also.
That's county.
And that is, I was, East
All right, thank you so much. I have enjoyed this. I mean, I'm loving it. I really am. I'm telling you, especially you, Mayor. I am just so delighted.
I'll come visit you.
I have
Come, please.
The question is, for really for the Board of Education,
See if you let her talk more at home.
but maybe you can tell me if I should go to them.
That's it.
But I am having deja vu all over again. I remember voting no on that building that was put up on the corner by the high school.
That's Board of Ed.
I voted no. My neighbor voted no. We all thought we voted no, and we see this building. How did that happen?
You have to ask.
The Board of Ed has to answer me? Well, I'll have to go and see them.
You ready?
I mean, I voted no.
Anybody else?
Why did that thing get built?
Just can't take you nowhere.
Good night.
Good night.
Nice to see you.
And thank you.
You're welcome.
You have another one of these. I'm only grass, I don't really, but you guys. I get
Good night, everybody.
Nick, thank you for announcing our order day then. So I do have a question. So I don't have Rich's expertise to draw from, but so if we're gonna have an event at Daly Pond, right? What safety measures do we need to have in place for that day?
What do you mean by safety?
Like, do we need, you know, if the public is gonna come,
Oh, okay. So Rich is probably gonna put in a request with us so we can speak to the police, let them know that there's a large amount of people.
hopefully, but you never
They'll
know.
probably have a couple of CEOs out there for us.
Okay, so I don't know how long,
When is this?
he's been, April 26th, so we got lots of
Could
time
you
to.
send me an email so we can try to get this thing arranged for you as soon as possible?
Yep.
Alright, anyone else? First call?
Motion to close.
Get away that easy.
Yeah, 'cause last,
Almost.
when you added
I gotta be quicker.
You gotta be quick.
Joe Donato, 30 Dale Street, South River. First off, the Main Street project the county's doing is just like your project. It's not gonna happen until maybe spring. They're still doing revisions that the state wants. So, that's the, for the railroad tracks, and that type of thing going on, so just to let you know. So I'm not gonna mention it until I know something's actually gonna happen. And I don't know if it's appropriate time to speak about it, I know, for, the new ordinance that I guess we're gonna talk about next meeting, which is the, Lower Main Street redevelopment. Just wanna make mention, there's a typo error in the, in there, from what I know, it's not, doesn't include lot 15.
Okay, we'll double check that and
I
we'll,
don't know if it means anything, but I happen to notice it, so I mention that.
thank you.
And then we'll talk about that later. Other than that, I just want to point out that I've seen, and I don't know why this is, to be getting double billed for electricity. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
I don't know how many other people, I've been picking it up, making out one check
Quite a
for the
few.
one house,
Quite a few.
flipping them both together and sending them to the town, which I'm gonna do again.
I got it.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, is it the same company that we were having problems with, or did we finally get somebody new? Because this
Same
is not,
company,
this is
different
not
printer.
neutral.
Yeah.
Same company, different printer.
Okay. I'll keep an eye on it, because it's happened before, and I shook my head, I said, I must have two homes. But, so I'm gonna continue doing the same thing, just send it in with my correct payment, and then the way it is, the way it is. I just wanna make sure that,
Rub mine off tomorrow.
yeah, that's what I plan on doing. Yeah, I forgot to pay my taxes until today, I'm glad you guys didn't come take my house. Yeah, that's really, believe it or not, that's it. You guys have a good rest of the month, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Mr. Donato. Anyone else? First call? Second call?
Motion to close public.
Second.
Motion by Council President, Seola, seconded by Councilman Brazilian.
All in favor?
We have one mayoral appointment, which is Brian Almeida being put onto the land use board as alternate number 2. Alyssa, we're gonna go through consent resolutions.
Whereas resolution 2025-01 authorizes the Borough Council to utilize the consent agenda to adopt various resolutions of a routine and non-controversial nature at one time. Now therefore be it is hereby resolved that the below list of resolutions are hereby adopted by the Borough Council in whole, as if the same were individually acted upon. Consent resolutions 2025-69 to 2025-84. 69, authorizing transfers within the 2024 budget. 70, authorizing purchase of a police vehicle. 71, authorizing the purchase and installation of a synthetic field for Petoskey Park. 72, resolution authorizing Sergeant John Kenny to serve as acting lieutenant. 73, authorizing a shared services agreement with East Brunswick for various services. 74, authorized 2025 public health services interlocal agreement. 75, authorizing a person-to-person transfer application of plenary retail consumption license. 76, authorizing the execution of a redevelopment agreement with 25 Main Street LLC. 77, authorizing Title 39 motor vehicle enforcement. 78, approving submission of a grant application to the NJ Department of Environmental Protection. 79, appointment of Brian Heistock to sergeant in the South River Police Department. 80, rejecting bids for utility billing services. 81, accept December 9th, 2024 regular minutes. 82, accept January 1st, 2025 reorganization minutes. 83, accept January 13th, 2025 regular and executive session minutes. 84, authorize the bills and claims list.
What is your motion? Motion by Councilwoman Ballas. Second by Councilman Krasinski.
Councilwoman Ballas?
Yes.
Councilman DeSantis?
Yes, with the exception for bills and claims, abstain from 25-00158 and 25-00263.
Councilman DeZemian?
Yes.
Councilman Giannakopolis?
Yes.
Councilman Gertenski?
Yes.
Council President Seula?
Yes.
We have nothing for new business, we're opening it up to governing comments. We're gonna start with Councilman Giannakopolis.
I just, Mayor Holohan, I'd like to say thank you to our first responders and especially to our fire department for, all the work they do, and I heard 40-some calls in January. Great job, guys.
That's it, that's it. Councilman DeSantis?
I would just like to echo with Councilman Giannakopolis about the structure fire. Seeing the pictures and videos, it was serious and no one was harmed, which is most important. So thank you guys for all of that. So we appreciate it.
Councilman DeZemian?
Yeah, echoing the same thing. Big shout out to the fire department and all the surrounding fire departments that responded, and EMS, there was quite a few from what I understand, so. And that fire also, because I get the messages the next morning and then even today, they responded back there, so good job to them. That's it.
Thank you. Councilwoman Ballas?
Well, the firemen, of course, you do a wonderful job. I wish you safety every time you go out. I'm gonna get on my little soapbox again about parking by the schools, because my driveway is not your parking lot. My neighbor's driveway is not your parking lot. The other day, if, God forbid, there had been any kind of emergency on Johnson Place, none of them would have gotten there. Again, I don't know why you can't tell that the yellow is not the place to park. My 18 cones by my house and my neighbors is ridiculous. Lesson number, whatever you got your driver's license back in the day, yellow, no parking. Driveways, no parking. In someone's driveway, no parking. Yeah, fire hydrants, no parking. It's not happening just by me. Thomas Street, again, you could not get a fire truck up that street the other day.
Same way.
You have to pay attention. Please, one of these kids someday is gonna dart out in front of wherever. Something's gonna happen, and guess who's they're gonna blame? They're not gonna blame each other for parking where they don't belong. They're gonna blame the firemen and the policemen and the town and whoever else. On the same note, curb your dogs, please, especially by the school. I guess the same people that park in the yellow just walk their dogs on the hill, because they can't read the signs that say curb your dogs. And on a better note, happy Valentine's Day all. Have a good night.
Councilman Gertenski?
Thank you, Mayor. First off, I'd like to thank all of our public responders, our police department, our fire department, especially for the incidents that we just had throughout the month, our DPW for keeping our roads clean and safe and salted so we can move around, and our sidewalks, and a lot of the other issues that we've had throughout town with water main breaks and everything. Our seniors, take care, look out for them. I usually make the announcement on the reorg meeting and everything too, but folks, when you go home, check your smoke alarm, make sure the battery is good, make sure your CO2 alarm is good, and it works, okay? With that, happy Valentine's Day, and everyone, thank you.
Council President?
Thank you. EDC will be meeting on February the 19th. We're working with a company right now called Be Real, which is gonna be registering businesses in town on different things that they are gonna either sell, discounts, promotions, specials for the day. And the residents can join this, and if they wanna go to one of the restaurants downtown, they can take their little card that they'll scan it, and it'll tell them you have 20% off today, or you have a free appetizer, or whatever the case may be. So that's gonna be coming in. EDC is gonna be walking around with the company to try and get some of the businesses registered. I believe there is a bunch already. And then we can get it out to the residents too. So that's one thing that's happening with EDC. The other thing is, as everyone is saying, fire department, we've had, as the chief stated, 40 alarms this month. The chiefs have been very busy with mutual aid calls coming in. We just had a major structure, we lost, chief, what was it, 4 structures, 5 structures it was? We were back there again this morning for a rekindle in a basement. And people don't realize that it's all volunteers. We volunteer our time 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So with that, we are welcoming anybody who would like to join the fire department as a volunteer. We need people. We need people to come down and join us. We have to have manpower at all times. So if you want to join, come down to fire headquarters on Jackson Street, check and get an application, fill it out, depending on where you're living. You can go up to Station 1, which is Jackson Street, or Station 2, which is up on Appleby Avenue next to the library. So we need to get some more volunteers. So please, come on out. And with that, happy Valentine's Day. Everybody have a great time.
Thank you. First of all, I want to congratulate Sergeant Brian Hyslop. I know he has been a great police officer now. He's also going to be a bigger and better, I guess you could say, leader, moving up in the ranks. As we all have spoken about the fire, a lot of people don't realize that with volunteer firefighters, there's a lot of backdoor to this. For example, we lost a whole house where the family was now without a house. Kim Bell helped with Office of Aging, helping them that same day. OEM did a remarkable job of getting Red Cross out there. Beth Lucas helped out with the food bank. Linda Rosano at the God's Closet thrift store helped with the clothing for the family. And we are still looking for aid to the family. But you don't realize that although it was just one house that we lost, we actually lost 2 houses and 4 other houses that were actually affected. It was not a joke when I tell you 70 firefighters came out. Several towns helped with taking down this fire. We must have used well over 500,000 gallons of water just to put something out. I tell you what, it could have been worse if it was at night and it was a whole lot windier. I want to thank the fire department for what they have done, they continue to do. Like I said, and like he said, we're all volunteers and continue to be volunteers. We don't ask for anything more than just come out and join the group. Collin Drive, it's been a long-awaited, stressful road that has been for years. I had the opportunity to speak to Bob Zaghetti, our mayor, from God knows back in the 90s, to Mr. Krenzel, to speaking to the residents of Collin Drive as well as the connecting roads. I had the opportunity to do my investigation on this whole entire project. When I tell you the amount of cars that went up that road the wrong way at any given time of the day, any given time of the season, any given time of the hour, they did it. The police department did a traffic study, periodic, from morning rush hour to lunchtime, afternoon rush hour, and even the evening, from the days of January 3rd to January 23rd. Well over 155 minutes of so many police officers contributing to the actual detail. Out of that, there was 2 violations. Now, you heard this earlier, when you see a police car, you're gonna deter, you're gonna go the opposite way. But surprisingly, these 2 violations all came from Monticello Way. And it's sad because they're locals. I like to meet the person that lives in that area and willing to actually have the nerve to knock at a door, either on Collin Drive or any of those connecting roads, after a loved one has been either hit by a car or killed, and say, I'm sorry. I challenge that to anybody that cuts through that road and thinks it was okay all this time. I gave you fair warning way back in November that we were gonna sit there and watch you do it, and we did. Hundreds and hundreds of videos I have, literally. So for the residents of Collin and all the connecting roads, we heard you and we answered. Redevelopment, here we are, we're working on another redevelopment starting this year, which is gonna be at the bottom of Main Street once again, which is gonna be the old Bank of America. South River is moving forward. We are trying to bring in as much as we can. It's not an easy process, it's small steps, but it's gonna get to a bigger prize. Break-ins. I love when people hide behind the phone. This is your weakness. Weakness is when you go onto social media and you start to talk about how your house, or you heard about a house that got broken into. But yet what you don't know is it's happening all around the whole entire town. It wasn't just in this one area. I can tell you last year it happened in so many parts of the town that we didn't publicize it because nobody hid behind the phone. They basically did the right thing by calling the police. Now what you don't know about the police is we have about 32 or so police officers that work hard every single day. At any given one time, you have 3 police officers out on the road patrolling the roads. Even if I had 100 police officers in this town for one squad, somebody's still gonna speed, somebody's still gonna break into a house, somebody's still gonna do mission. It's a fact. The best kind of crime, the best kind of deterrent is you. It's called a crime watch. You see something that's out of the ordinary, you call the police. Don't sit there and say you're bothering them. This is what they do. They get paid to do this. This is your tax money working hard. Call the police. It's as simple as that. Any time of the day, at night. The call came in at 2:30 in the morning. Who would have known? I had a call come in last year at 1 o'clock. Who would have known? Sure enough, that suspicion happened to be somebody trying to break into a house. Suspicion. Call the police. That's all I have to say. Other than that, I want to wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day. Try to enjoy it. Do I have an adjournment?
Motion.
Motion by Council President, second by Councilman Vivian.
All in favor?
Aye.
I found them.